scenario, and I'm getting an opportunity to send my dream to you all, so I am really valuing this opportunity. Thank you. So Mahendra Singh Dhoni says he's a great captain because he drinks. Shah Rukh Khan says, Saif Ali Khan says their life is large because they drink. In fact, that's the only thing which is keeping the Indian cricket team together. If alcohol is such a wonderful substance, do we really want to stop this epidemic? Let it continue, right? So most medical students nowadays, engineering students, law students, reputed, people with a good background, don't mind drinking in parties, right? So is it good or bad? Let us first see that, and then we go to, do we really want to do something about it or not? So if I ask you, how does alcohol kill? Now that you have filled the questionnaire, probably some of you might be able to say a few things. But when I put this question to medical students in general, liver cirrhosis and vomiting of blood is the only thing which comes across. Now if alcohol is, दारू पिएगा ना तो कुछ लोगों को liver बिगड़ता है, ठीक है, मैं तो smart है, मेरे को थोड़ी liver बिगड़ेगा. So I can drink is the kind of picture all of us have. But if we have a wholesome picture as to exactly what all does it do, then probably we will not touch it, right? So the facts are, we know this, but somehow the perspective is not in our mind. The most common way in which alcohol kills is accidents. Then it is heart attacks and strokes. A huge percent of heart attacks and strokes are because of alcohol. Like tobacco, alcohol also causes cancer. Cancers of the throat, stomach and breast are extremely common because of alcohol. Liver cirrhosis of course comes fourth. And then comes intentional injuries, which means murders and suicides. Next. So to give it statistically, 20,39,000 male deaths every year is caused by this addictive poison. It is not a recreational drug, it's an addictive poison which kills people. Next. So next. This was just on tobacco reason I started. But I think I will take this. So this is the slide where I started working on this topic. Similar to what I just said for tobacco also. All we know is cancers. But cancer is 10% of the tobacco related deaths in India. What are the other deaths? So a study done by the American Cancer Society, a 20-year longitudinal study, started with healthy people, smoking, non-smoking, followed up for 20 years. And they saw that out of those who died of cancers, 30% died because of smoking. Out of those who died of heart attacks, 22 because of smoking, strokes 27 and COPD 72%. And after this study and the evidence which got collected, that is why smoking is bad in the developed countries now. They strictly ban it. If you have to smoke, you have to travel miles, because now it has been established that it's a highly lethal poison, which somehow we don't know. At our places, people say, "Ami व्यसन karat nahi, फक्त तंबाकू खाते." So that's the kind of attitude we have. It's a harmless poison. That's not true. And to prove that to the society, I have started to work on it. Anyways, so next. So then some people will say, "जब तक जिएगा, जल्दी मरेगा ना. जब तक जिएगा, ऐश करके जिएगा." Now, is that true? Please tell me. Is that true? No. Even when you are alive, alcohol impacts the quality of your life in multiple ways. So statistically, 7.6% of the global male diaries lost are due to alcohol. Next. So to enumerate it, this is just from the top of the head to the bottom of your toe. You are medical students, you know quite a bit of it. I'm not going to elaborate, but just to get a feel of it. Next. There are 210 disease categories under ICD-10, which are directly or partly contributed to by alcohol. Next. To name a few things, you know it: low birth rate, diabetes, immunity. Next. Alcohol-induced psychosis, which means what? Those of you who have seen the film Omkara, so you have seen if a male tends to doubt his wife unnecessarily though she is faithful. Husband के parents उसको बोलेंगे अरे तेरे को इससे अच्छी नहीं मिलने वाली. She is faithful, but he is not convinced. Now this is something which is extremely common among alcoholics and which ruins the family life forever. Of course, the other things you know. Next, cirrhosis, pancreatitis, road traffic accidents, drowning, suicide, violence, murders. नहीं, पहले. Now you will ask me, किसी बंदे ने एक्सीडेंट कर दिया, इसमें दारू का फॉल्ट क्या है? किसी ने रेप कर दिया, इसमें दारू का फॉल्ट क्या है? दारू का फॉल्ट है because it's physiological property of alcohol to impair your eye motor coordination. So you're seeing the person, you know you have to take a left, your brain sends the signal, but somehow your hand doesn't turn, and therefore it is attributable to alcohol. Similarly, impaired social judgment, the sense of right and wrong, to impair it, is a property of alcohol. If you want to propose a girl, it's said, so then you don't think about what's going to happen. But then this is going to be applicable even for valid things. There are umpteen number of husbands who don't assault their wives on the day they are not drunk, and who assault their wives on the day they are drunk. Now, is this because the husband has some properties? Yes. But then there is a huge contributing factor of alcohol also, if it is happening only on the days when he is drunk. Because on those days, his brain's capacity to think right and wrong is gone. Right? So in the Delhi gang rape case, 4 people take a rod, shove in the vagina, keep doing that. And immediately after that, 1 hour after that, one person says, oh shit, maine kya kar diya? Hang me. The other person commits suicide in the jail when the intoxication is gone. So is it possible that the ferociousness of the crime was because of the intoxicated state? Maybe. That is why these crimes are attributable to alcohol. Next. So yeah, we are talking of quality of life. First point is it causes multiple distressing diseases. When you have acidity, vomiting of blood, when there is tingling, burning in your leg, it's not a good quality of life. Second point, impotence. Out of the organic causes of impotence, alcohol, tobacco, diabetes and high blood pressure are the 4 most common causes. Is impotence painful? Not physically. Emotionally? Devastating. Right? And for alcohol is an aphrodisiac, which means it increases your desire to have sex. Double fatka. इच्छा बहुत होती है और कर कुछ भी नहीं पाता. Okay? Next. It decreases your stamina for physical effort. Of course, for obvious things, you drink, your heart is spoiled, hands, legs, everything is spoiled, your stamina is decreased, but obviously. And then because of that, you can't work enough. And you are next. So it's a financial disaster also. To give a quick example, when I was in Pune, I had gone to stitch my fan to some tailor, and I was there, I gave it and I came back, and after a week I went to collect it, and his shop was closed. I went again after a few days, closed. 3-4 times closed. I asked the next shop, okay, what happened? So he says, have you given your money? I said, yeah, forget it. Now you won't get it back. So he said that this guy was supposed to be the most famous tailor in Mangalwarpet where I was recently. And then because of his success, friends came, drinking started, they used to celebrate. Now a stage has come that everything is gone and he sits in the shop only when he doesn't have money. As soon as he gets money, he goes and drinks. And of course he cannot work anymore, so he doesn't do any work. From the best tailor in Mangalwarpet to the worst, the journey is because of alcohol. This is a typical thing, you all know, they incur debts and all that. So typically they have everything and they are become paupers, they are in debts, and finally when the debt is unsolvable, they will burn themselves up and commit suicide, or their wife will burn herself up and commit suicide. And therefore the suicides are attributable to alcohol. Next. So it's a financial disaster, and then occupational impairment and absenteeism different studies will show you that 15 to 20% of work absenteeism, 40% of accidents at work are attributed to alcohol. The new year is celebrated on 31st December, but holiday is on 1st of Jan because the whole of West is not in a position to work on 1st of Jan. Next. It decreases your attractiveness. The media repeatedly tries and projects. If you drink, if you smoke, you look smart, you get girls. Okay? Will be that. He was 2000, made 5000. Such a right? Repeatedly try and create the image that alcohol is going to make you attractive. Bullshit. stinks. If you don't know where you're walking, you look attractive. By what? By what stretch of imagination? I would request boys to ask girls in your class, does any of them find a guy intoxicated attractive? No, they're fooling you. Just to make you drink, sell the product. Yes. So, मर्दानगी बढ़ती है. मर्दानगी के जितने भी पैरामीटर्स है, your sexual performance, your physical stamina, your ability to earn, your attractiveness, हर एक को कुछ होता है तो कम होता है, बढ़ती definitely नहीं, right? Yes. So now, we are looking at quality of life. We saw 4 ways in which it impairs your masculinity. No, okay. So it impairs the quality. It impairs your masculinity, and that causes multiple diseases which are going to impair your quality. It makes you a slave. Why do we call it an addiction? The first time you drink alcohol, you'll feel, क्या चीज होने को रहा है, dude. But at the end of it, you're not going to come back to normal. You're going to be below normal. You're going to feel restless, you're going to feel irritable, you won't be able to focus on your work, and you'll be like, alright there. You take the second time, you'll get the kick, but less than the first one. And at the end of it, you feel still worse. And the cycle keeps on going on till a day comes in your life wherein as soon as you get up, you need your eye-opener drink just to get started. Right? जैसे जो लोग तंबाकू खाते हैं, you must be knowing if people are around you. Till they don't take their morning cigarette or tobacco, what they can't do? संडास भी नहीं जा पाते और मर सकते. They can't even pass their stools without this thing going in their stomach. That's how addicted they become. Now, being medical students, you know this withdrawal, tolerance, these are physiological properties. This is not कि तेरा willpower कम है तो you will become dependent और तेरा willpower अच्छा है तो you won't become dependent. Right? It's not about your willpower. It's an addictive substance, and the cycle might be slow for some, fast for some. But this is what the cycle is going to be. So one of my professors used to say, दारू अंदर जाएगा तो कुत्ता बाहर आएगा. It's a property of the substance. It's not about how good or bad you are. The substance is bad enough. So let me clarify 2 things. So of course I am here because I feel it's a disaster to touch this thing, and therefore I am here. However, I respect your opinions. I just request you to listen with an open mind to what I have seen as a psychiatrist, and then make your choice, and I respect that. But just listen with an open mind to what I have to say, and I regard the substance to be bad, not the person to be bad. I understand that he's trapped. So I don't have anything against anyone who chooses to drink. So please don't take any of the things I say personally. Okay? It's just I'm trying to put, I don't want to dilute the reality by saying something which is less than real. So yes, so this goes on like that in a stage. So so person doesn't take it voluntarily. But as soon as in the morning if his hands is trembling, he's not able to work, he doesn't get sleep, he's bound to drink, he's bound to get the craving. So you get trapped for life. And therefore it's a disease. We are asked to be sympathetic towards him because he's not the problem. He has been trapped, etc. So if quitting is very difficult, what is in your hand? What is in our hand? Alcohol is regarded to be a chronically relapsing disease, alcohol dependence. Because the person will stop after some time, again he'll start, again he'll stop, again he'll start. Of course, there are few people who are able to stop for life, but majority are not. So if quitting is so difficult and not in our hand, what is in our hand? The first drink is in our hand. Or for those of you who drink socially and are of the opinion that currently you are in control, then the situation currently is in your hand to stop it today. Fine, you might be true, today it is social drinking and it is in control. So before it goes out of control, stop today. Because once that happens, you won't be able to stop even if you want. So there is a very typical thing which works. Okay, the husband will come in the night, he will assault the wife. Next day morning he will be like, what did I do? Sorry. It's a video. Night time comes, the craving starts, He will snatch the money, go drink, come back, hit her. Next day morning, is he acting? No. He genuinely means that. He's trapped. Don't let that happen to you. Stop it before you get trapped. Yes. So it impairs your mental health and academic performance for obvious thing. If you're gonna, when you smoke, you're gonna get a high for 1 hour, you're gonna get intoxicated for 1 hour. But the rest of the day, you are gonna be in some threshold of full-blown withdrawal. So the prevalence of anxiety and depression increases in those who are drinking and smoking. And of course they have a guilt because all of them want to stop but can't. So they have a guilt. And so that's what makes them anxious and depressed. Next is a gateway drug. Quickly I'll say, so in surgery OPD we had, not OPD, in the ward when I was an intern I saw a particular child aged 14 and he was admitted for ruptured spleen, kidney and something else. Because he was a brown sugar addict. He used to require daily 400 rupees. Of course, he was a poor guy, didn't have it. He used to steal daily. One day, police was after him, running. From the 3rd floor, he jumped and he had come with rupture of it. At the age of 14, how did he become a brown sugar addict? It starts with gutka, goes to cigarettes, goes to ganja, goes to alcohol. And then someone will say, "Bachcho ki cheezein kab tak karega? Try the real stuff." Then it goes to this, then it goes to that. So these act as a gateway drugs which open up a whole new world of criminality, addictive substances and unhealthy things in your life. Right? If you don't do this too, or if you make sure that your family members don't do this too, your cousins don't do this too, you can rest safe that no other drug is going to touch them. Next. Legal complications for whatever they do in the intoxicated states are so common, we all know that. Social respect. One of the addicts who wanted to quit, so I asked him, why do you want to quit? He said, मेरे गली के कुत्ते को भी थोड़ा बहुत तो सम्मान है, मुझे नहीं. I want that back. So that is something huge you lose when you become an addict. Next. So it harms your family too, because of, as ma'am said, domestic violence is an extremely common cause. Disharmony and hatred. So imagine what would happen if a child has seen his father assault his mother all his childhood. A very typical thing is when they come in 9th standard, 10th standard, they want, hey, aage se haath laga, chhod dega. That's the time when the assertiveness stops, but the verbal abuse continues. But the relation between the father and the son, do you think they can ever normalize after this? Can't. So in one of the addiction centers I was just fresh, so there was a particular person who was there since 2 months. And so he was abstinent in the center since 2 months, he was sober, this, that, so he talked to me, my family doesn't come to see me, take me, this, that. So I gave a call to them, yeah, you are good, I convinced them, alcohol is a disease and all that, it's not your fault. So I chalo baat karenge. So I called the family's home. And the female says, Doctor, are you new? We have paid the fees, if it gets over, call us, we'll come and pay. Don't disturb us. But this is the point of frustration family members reach. Initially all of them are supportive. No, my father is so good here, he's not bad, this alcohol is bad. But when he keeps on doing again and again and again, people are not God. They lose faith, they lose patience. So it's a very unhealthy family atmosphere that results in such homes. Children develop anxiety and depression disorders for obvious reasons when they see so much drama in their home daily. Quickly, in school mental health program, I had particularly met a child. She was a girl in, I think, 4th standard. So the teacher complained she remains sad and doesn't focus on studying. So I talked to her. She was like, Mom, no answer. Second time, Mom, no answer. Third time she tells me, my father drinks and he assaults my mother. So I'm worried about that. So when I think, Sham ko kya hoga, keeps worrying me and I'm not able to focus. I asked her, I met you the 3rd time. Why did you tell me? You could have done something. So मेरे घर की इज्जत ऐसी मैं कैसे करूँ? Imagine a 4th standard child dealing with so much alone. That's what happens to all these children. They're fighting so much things and without any support. And they end up with anxiety and depressive disorders for life. So you ask a kid, what do you want to become? And you might say doctor, engineer, and one of the things he will say is Papa is that. And when the Papa is okay to drink and smoke in parties, a fool like me goes to his school and says Buri baat, he'll say Hoti buri baat, but utni buri nahi ho sakti. Right? So the probability that he will start experimenting with it when his friends encourage him is high. The fetus gets harmed, we all know that the birth weight decreases by 1500 grams on an average. Grams, right? And socioeconomic backwardness for obvious reasons. Right? So what is the conclusion? The point is that alcohol, a person who takes alcohol does not want his family to get harmed, but still the family gets harmed in multiple ways. So what is the conclusion? So for those of you who have not chosen your boyfriend till now, choose it. Next. Or in Delhi college, one girl said, "You are talking as if only boys drink, sir. You don't know anything." So I will say either ways, whether you are a girl or a boy, choose your partner with care. Because today he or she might be a social drinker once in a month. But 10 years down the line, what it will be, he can't guarantee, you can't guarantee, I can't guarantee. Don't invite a slippery slope in your life. Is the advice I give. Next. So does it decrease your stress? इतना सब बुरा है तो लोग क्यों लेते? अच्छा लगता है कि नहीं? Of course yes. Of course yes, it decreases your stress. The issue is, at what cost? At cost of all the things that we just discussed. Is it worth it? Is there no other way to decrease your stress? Friends, going on a trip, playing indoor games, outdoor games, eating something you love, drinking something other than alcohol, meditate, badminton, dance, music, creative arts, thousands of wonderful ways, constructive ways to become happy and to recreate. And when you use these ways to become happy, you're going to be happy today, tomorrow, forever, and you're going to be empowered in life because of the qualities you will possess. While when you use this way to become happy, you'll be happy for an hour, but you're going to suffer the pain of it for life. When your leg will get amputated because of peripheral vascular disease, when a father dies at 35 of heart attack, when you have ascites and you walk like a pregnant mother, consequences are for life. Right? So, when I finished my internship, the CMO who signed my internship completion certificate, by the time I finished my psychiatry residentship, he was roaming in the medicine wards there, not the wards, department there, begging for money to his professor friends. And professors used to tell the peon, "Wo aayega na to usko baar denge." Something which he had used to recreate all his life, today had taken away his job, respect, money, everything. Then is this a smart way of recreation? It's temporary recreation which is going to permanently have the potential to do in your life. Yes? So, relief is only temporary, long run is going to be a huge deal, and therefore I will say, definitely be happy. I'm not against your happiness, but be happy in a constructive way. Next. So, you all know what an ostrich is. What is the characteristic of an ostrich? What is it? When the lion comes, what does it do? It digs a hole in the sand and buries it in. So he digs, buries it in, then he can't see the lion. So he says, bach gaya, bach gaya. The lion comes, eats him up and goes away. This is exactly what an alcoholic does. Knock him off. Tension. Tension is right in his front of his eyes. Kill your brain's capacity to think and then believe there is no tension. So the loan of 20,000 will become 1 lakh, it will become 5 lakhs, it will become 10 lakhs. And then it will kill you. Because when you don't have any solution, you commit suicide. Is this the way you want to deal with your stress? It's not a symbol of your smartness, it's a certificate of your stupidity that you don't have healthy coping skills in life. Am I right? Only those who don't have healthy coping skills have to use this kind of things to deal with their stress. So get on the right track and become happy today and forever. So you might have heard for the first time, na? Alcohol epidemic. क्या कुछ भी बता रहा है, खुद का ही बना के बेच रहा है, epidemic, हाँ. Look at the stats. In the last 20 years, so the sales are increasing by 6 to 8% every year. There is a constant increase in the number of young people who drink and the frequency and context in the consumption. A study in Kerala says the percentage of drinking population under 21 years has increased from 2% to 14% in the last 20 years. And the average age of initiation has decreased from 19 to 30. I've been a part of a study in Gadchiroli. 10 standard students, 35% boys, as well as 35% girls consume tobacco in some form or the other. Is this not an epidemic? And girls are also catching up. So it's across genders, across. Initially it was जो लोग जो झुपड़पट्टी में रहते हैं ना वो लोग करते हैं. Then it became जो high cream है ना वो लोग करते हैं. And now it is across all sections, right? Next. So therefore it's an epidemic. Vijay Mallya says in India cricket is like a religion. You then have a young demographic, blah 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 blah. Market it to them and we will have it. Is he succeeding? Definitely yes. And unless we do something, things are gonna get irreversibly bad. Next. So when I read these lines, this is why I started this work. Today there is irrefutable scientific evidence about the hazardous consequences of alcohol and tobacco, and yet there are no signs of their use decreasing in near future. I was shocked. And after all that I have seen as a psychiatrist, the pain, the misery, I'm like, shit, why? And then I started thinking, and I agreed with one of my professors that we are not doing enough on prevention. For a large-scale change in any disease, prevention is the way out. For example, infectious diseases are controlled in the West. Why? Antibiotics, hygiene, vaccines, etc. Right? And especially for an addictive substance, whose quit rates are very poor, prevention becomes all the more important. However, we are not doing anything about it, or very less. So how about working on prevention? So that I accepted. And I also saw there's a lot of facts, a lot of misconceptions even among the medical community. Forget the rest. So, if collectively we work and share these facts and remove misconceptions, won't things change? They have to change. Has any one of you ever thought, एक बार तो rat poison check के देखेंगे? Because you're very clear, this thing is bad. But when I was in BJ, a second year MBBS student, girl came and told me after the lecture, okay, sir, in my group in hostel there is a dream. एक बार तो टकीला पी के knockout करके देखना है कैसा. And that's because when you are तो विजय मल्ल्या की गर्लफ्रेंड का नाम क्या कि उसके सन की गर्लफ्रेंड का नाम दीपिका पादुकोण. So उसके हर फिल्म में एक सॉन्ग तो मंगता है जिसमें she is not. अभी ये देख के why shouldn't the youth have a temptation to try what it is when it is glorified everywhere and बुरा है ऐसा कोई नहीं बोल रहा. I'll be surprised if some youth doesn't try it. Right? But if we give them the right perspective and make it clear to them that this is not a road to heaven, this is a road to hell, why would they try it? No one is a fool to hit the X on the leg, right? So that's what I believe, and that is why I am doing this work. And I wanted to share with you these facts and statistics. Lecture is not over. Don't sigh or breath of relief. So this is why I am working. So prevention, yes, next. Prevention is the way out. So quit rates are poor, large scale is only to that, therefore prevention, next. So what is the evidence? So the evidence says, meta-analysis say the three things which work the most in prevention are raising taxes, making it more expensive, strong drunk driving countermeasures, punishing those who drink and drive, and restrictions on availability. To give an example, so homicide, murder rate was very high in Brazil city of Diadema. So they responded by imposing a strict licensing law in 2002 that after 11 p.m. strictly it should not be sold. Within 2 years, murder rate decreased by 44%. There are many such studies. Okay. Now all the three are what I just said: drunk driving, restrictions, and taxes. All are legal measures. So eventually, for an addictive substance, legal route has to come in. However, for that to come in, sufficient political and social will has to be there. If 50% of the Pandus are addicted to tobacco, a tobacco ban cannot get implemented. Right? So sufficient social and political will has to be created first. And that is where doctors and teachers, our role comes first. First we have to make it clear to the society what this addictive poison is. Harrison describes it as a form of chronic suicide. But do people understand it that way? But if we make people understand it that way, then probably the social and political will get created. Next. Next. So advocacy, in education, what should we do? Now there are two schools of thought, even among doctors. One is, be responsible. And second is, it's a bad thing, addictive thing, don't touch. Now I believe in the second one. So the arguments for that are, if drinking responsibly and in control was in your hand, why call it an addictive substance? Do you think any addict voluntarily ruins his family? He gets a joy in squandering his money and destroying his professional life. Drinking responsibly and in control is not a matter of choice. It just happens to you. So how can you tell peanut to be control maybe? It doesn't make sense to me. Quit rates are poor, therefore it's better to not start. It can happen to anyone. My secretary coach here, I told him, why do you drink? So he says, there are genetic diseases. मेरे घर में किसी को नहीं है. Now the genetic predisposition हर disease में डाल दिया. So that becomes an excuse. So if you have a family history of diabetes, is your risk for getting diabetes more? Yes. Does that make it a genetic disease? No. It remains a lifestyle disease. So just because if you have a family history of alcohol, your risk is more, that doesn't mean if you don't have a history, you won't get it. The single most important reason of getting addicted is you touched an addictive poison. That's the most important thing. Everything else is secondary. There is no gene detected. If you have this gene, then you get it. If you don't have, you don't get it. Sorry, nothing like that. Okay? So there will be some people who will be more disposed, some will be less, but no one can claim they are not at risk. It can happen to anyone. There are enough number of doctors who have ruined their life because of alcohol. One of the founders of Alcoholic Anonymous was a surgeon whose practice was ruined since many years. So it can happen to anyone. Now there is evidence. So there are doctors who even give lectures. Okay, alcohol in moderation is good for the heart. There are hospitals which have put up on their board, drink in this, and it also sounds good to the person, na? अच्छा डॉक्टर है, पीने को भी बोलता है, हाँ. I have had patients who are addicts now, but who started not to enjoy, but because some great doctor gave advice, improve your digestion by starting to drink it, not eat, but control it. This is what happened. So the fact is, okay, next. The evidence of such studies is very weak. They have many methodological flaws in them. You can imagine the financial power of tobacco and alcohol companies. How much does it take to sponsor a study which is going to create such things? And typically, if you want to prove alcohol in moderation is good or not, what should you compare? You should compare someone who has never drunk with those who drink in control. What if you compare those who have stopped drinking in order to, वो bias निकालने के लिए ना, जो लोग ने पहले किया था और अभी stop किया है और अभी continue कर रहे हैं उनको लेके. Does that make sense? Who will stop? A party drinker stops? Convince करके थक जाओ. He is not going to stop. Only when he has ruined his life royally, then he will be forced to stop. You compare these people with those who drink in control and then say, it fares better. Does it make sense? So meta-analysis means analysis of many studies on a topic taken together. So meta-analysis have shown that many studies which claim such things have methodological flaws, and if you remove them and then analyze the remaining, then this claim doesn't hold true. Second, The WHO says, even if you accept it, chalo bhai ye true hai, chalo. Okay, in so and so pattern it is helpful for the heart. So in this controlled pattern, how many people drink? So based on that, every year, hypothetically, 88,000 male deaths can be said to be prevented because of alcohol. However, actually 4,66,000 cardiac deaths occur every year in males because of alcohol. And this is only cardiac. Total number of male deaths because of alcohol is 20,39,000. So the evidence it helps is query, but the evidence it destroys is conclusive. Next, a recent study done in India in 10 centers across the country, including AIMS, in 2010, shows that at least in the Indian population, even light alcohol consumption increased the risk by 1.3 times, of a heart attack by 1.3 times, moderate by 1.6 times, heavy by 2. So at least in the Indian population, you cannot say that alcohol in moderation is good for us. Next. Inter-heart study which was done in 52 countries, that also showed that in the Indian subpopulation, light alcohol consumption did not decrease the risk of heart attack, it increased the risk. So for us there is no doubt at all, it does increase the risk of heart attack. Next. The American Heart Association issues a warning, drinking alcohol increases dangers such as blah blah blah, and it is not possible to predict in which people alcoholism will become a problem. And so given this risks and other things, we advocate people not to start drinking if they do not already drink. And in spite of this, some doctors continue to advocate. It's a misconception, please change that. Next. So some people say, one of my direction professor used to say, of course he used to drink. He used to tell me, or us, if we are not moral people, it is none of our business whether they want to drink or not. Once they get addicted and they come to you, then you can tell what to do. But if he chooses to drink, it's a lifestyle choice. Something which is killing 20 lakh people every year is not a medical issue. Now it might be a moral issue also, fine, but does that take the medical issue? हम लोग कितना frequently लोगों को बोलते हैं तेल ज़्यादा मत खाओ, salt मत लो. How many of us routinely say tobacco is bad, alcohol is bad? The evidence is much stronger, but somehow we don't do that. We feel we will be labelled as religious and moralistic. It's a medical issue, and we need to talk about it. And no one is talking about it, and that is why it is spreading. I believe it's not just a moral issue. And at the end of the day, there are no advantages. Even the recreation, as we just saw, it's just temporary. In the long run, it's going to harm. So it has no advantages. So, see, you leave the final decision to them. But as a doctor, at least advocate the right thing. At least guide the right thing. Then with the decision. Guide ही नहीं करना तो वो गलत ही रहेगा ना decision. So yes, next. So is it okay to drink in parties? I'm just going to summarize a few of the things I said. So no one is a born addict. Will everyone who touches alcohol become dependent? No. No. Agree. 85% will not become dependent. But 15% is a huge number. And it can be anyone. One. Second, accidents. One of my psychiatry JRs after a party came and told me next day morning, अच्छा हो यार कल accident नहीं हुआ, गाड़ी कहाँ जा रही थी मेरे को समझ नहीं रहा था. Now this is a psychiatry JR. Now imagine how many people like this are on the roads every day. Accidents are not done by addicts. They have their very fixed pattern. इधर पीने का, इस गली में ऐसे करने का, उस गटर में जाके सोने का. They don't harm anyone. It is the binge drinkers who harm. So now I'm telling you 15% छोड़ दो, बाकी की जो 85 है ना, उसमें से जो binge करते हैं, they are the ones who do accidents. Binge drinking is also harmful to the heart. Behavioral problems, तुम जो behavior में गड़बड़ करोगे वो. One medical student in a particular college in Bombay 2 years back binged. Next day morning in the night, aspirated vomitus, died in 3 days in the ICU. One day of partying will ruin your life. While in Pune, I used to go to eat at a particular auntie's place. So her husband was a good guy. She was happy with him, but he used to drink in parties. So one day after the party, he didn't have a sense, accident, ICU for 10 days, Because he had drunk, insurance company didn't pay the claim, she had to pay 10 lakhs, finally he died. So now she has given one room on rent, taking guest wages, and she cooks at home and runs a mess where we used to go to eat. One day of party can change your life. If your leg gets cut, or you cut someone's leg, or if you kill someone, one day of party is going to change your life or someone's life. And therefore I will recommend, not even party drinking makes sense to me. Next. So this is my concluding argument as to in prevention what can we do. So if I ask you a question, which country is harmed more by alcohol, India or USA, what will you say? Sorry, I couldn't hear. India, right? But why? We are rational people, so I know why. Why is India harmed more? So we are more people, so we are harmed more. Not that way. Proportion wise, I am asking, why more? Please. So some people say the quality of alcohol is not good here. So when you drink a good quality, bad quality poison, you get harmed. And when you drink a good quality poison, what happens? So this is the rich blend of the finest handmade grains of France. शहद बेच रहे हैं क्या? Filtered cigarettes are as harmful as non-filtered cigarettes. Decreasing by the harm by 5% doesn't make any difference. Methyl alcohol kills how many people in a year? 100, 200, 1000. Ethyl alcohol kills 20 lakh only males. Females are. It's the ethyl alcohol which kills, not methyl alcohol. Right? So that's not the answer. It's not the quality of alcohol. Anything else? Sorry? I didn't hear.
No,
it means which preventive measures? So in USA people drink alcohol, right? It's common over there, right? So what do you mean by no preventive measures?
like no awareness.
Right. So when a person is educated and aware, it makes a difference. So when a well-educated MBBS or a psychiatrist drinks, he won't get right. So that's another misconception. It's a those people, you need to go to school to realize alcohol is bad. People in church have grown up seeing it, real life education. You don't need education for that, right? So that's also not the reason. Any other reason? Some people say, it's okay, I'll answer. This shows how skewed our understanding of alcohol is. It is USA which is harmed more. But our understanding of alcohol is so skewed that we keep believing that the problem is not with the substance, problem is with people. So USA के महान लोग पिएंगे, उनको थोड़ी कुछ होगा, वो smart है, control में पिएंगे. हमारे यहाँ के तो यार illiterate लोग, वो लोग बसते हैं. This is the skewed understanding we have. Not true. The impact is more here. Yes. For example, यहाँ एक पति पी के पत्नी को मारेगा, जिंदगी भर पति परमेश्वर के मार खाएंगे. Foreign में थप्पड़ मार के divorce देके चली जाएगी. So she won't suffer for life. Rich family में the financial impact will be less. Treatment का possibility is more. तो वैसे है. But if you talk of the proportion of families harmed by alcohol, that is more in USA. So 4% of deaths in India are attributable to alcohol. 9% of deaths in USA are attributable to alcohol. If you talk of dependence and abuse, 4.3% here, 8.2% there. For the simple reason that it's a poison and it's an addictive substance and acts irrespective of your education. So India में जहाँ पे ये 2004 का statistic है, अगर 20% लोग experiment करते हैं और उसमें से 20% dependent हो जाए, फिर भी it's 4%. जबकि ये country में 60% लोग try करेंगे और उसमें 15% भी dependent होते हैं, तो it comes to 9%, right? And this is 2004. I am sure by now we are not at 4. They would have raised. In the next 10-15 years, the way things are going, if we don't change, we can assume those statistics to be in the first column as well. And that is why this is an epidemic and we need to act. So now the question, in spite of a better socio-economic strata, education, everything, why is that country harmed more and why they be protected? Because alcohol was socially acceptable there and it was socially unacceptable here. And therefore we were protected. बुरी चीज है, हाथ नहीं लगाने का, खत्म बात, बच गए. Next, across the world, the problem is much less among women compared to males. Why? Is it females have higher willpower, are smarter and all that? Maybe, but that's not the reason for this. Right? Men will be men. Bhaiyon ke drink karti thi. So women can't drink, so they're protected. Males can drink, so they're harmed. As simple as that. So, what I want to conclude is, if we bring back that social unacceptability, which these companies and film stars and cricketers are so aggressively trying to break, then again we will get our cultural protection back. And being medicos, doctors, we have a huge say. We command respect. Whether we are smart or not, people think they are smart. And we know what we are saying. Right? You go and talk to anyone about alcohol and what they will say? Doctors will be there. Have you heard that? So people decide right or wrong based on what we do and say. We can change this social acceptance again. If I do it alone, will it change? But if 60 people sitting here, every day 10 people, will it change? हम कोल्हापुर के बड़े दवाखाने में गए थे और आपके डॉक्टर ने पूरा केस. So what I'm suggesting you is, see, anyways, why you take a case, you are asking about alcohol, tobacco. I'm asking you 1 minute with each patient. So you ask about it. If he says I've not taken it, wow, good decision. Never take it. Just say 1 or 2 steps and say this is a very bad thing. Don't do it. If he says I'm taking it occasionally, say it's your choice. But as a doctor, this is what I've seen. Say 1 or 2 steps and say, according to me, the best thing you can do for your and your family's insurance is quit this addictive poison today. 1 minute. Do you think if we do this, 10 patients a day, people coming from different villages, do you think things will change? I think they will. Okay? That can be the first step. Many other steps can happen. But luckily, we are not a community which can just say, "Hum kya kare?" There's a lot of power we have. When I joined psychiatry, we had a party, Pune Psychiatry Association. So one of the most popular psychiatrists of Pune comes to us and says, "Oh, young man, you're not drinking. You're adults now. You can drink." So then, when one of us was giving party to his friends, and the friends were forcing him, "Pee, like that. Itna bada doctor bolta hai, pee sakte hai." He started. And after that, Pune Psychiatry Society के हर पार्टी में he binges. And next day, एक बजे तक वो काम करने नहीं आता था. This is what happens when we, with our authority, take a look. Let us use the authority which society has invested us in a healthy direction. Let us advocate about it, right? In other ways, it's not only doctors, otherwise also all of us, you are smart, clean, all that, right? So if girls in this class start saying, "Gee, promote drinks." Do you think any guy in this class will dare to drink? But you're not using the power you have. Let's start speaking up. Is what I'm saying. Let's start speaking up. We are not asking you to force, but request. The most common reason people quit is not these statistics. Girlfriend will say, "I don't like this." Okay, quit. It is request by loved ones, by your friends, which make the difference. So people at home don't take it. People in hostels take it. Why? You don't care for your friends? Can't you take a stand for them like their parents take for them?